you're making. Iniesta more sad the same honor. Edgar David, the legendary Zico for Brazil, all the greatest passes will be out also in ball, but be at the ball at turn. I can say intelligence behind this ball. Leo Messi body dio honmo. Yow, udru free kicks are obesa so ball Leo Messi dio honmo. So dribbling my ball, Maradona, my boy George Bessa, Bedi Pele mo go my ball. So which of the attacking categories and Abe Messi didn't see? So omo ebona ba so age 38 years so at TV achi kra no ya wo hu ba bia na talent ne wo nti at the age of 38 so mo ka say they are overwhelmed by gracing the pitch with lure. I mean ya take glass achi kra no ya nye ni talent into mo na Messi no me metimi aka say wa overachieve.
Okay,
o hwe yare a sebe o de ba wi asase so a challenge o de ba ya wa overachieve. Messi, we overachieve. When we say no growth deficiency syndrome, yeah, can. Now, these are some of the challenger. Sabi ote kwan ho sresesika na o yadwuma involve wa hoden obi amblemu. But for him to rise and compete with Nkrofia Mabobudi nyina de akere we and still staying at the top level of the game, you know. A can lot. National in Sahua, ni fano. Also, I had to be one in Sahon. Flower be lotus eda humbi, edan in Sano. A to the beer, Oko so be more. In soon bit me, I said, there's a certain flower I know you. In soon besa quack or chinch, maybe a bit chinch, no course in soon besa back. Say next season, no bedruno. In so besa baba top flower no. Lotus flower no. A standing for purity. Standing for enlightenment and standing for rebirth. Say ya woman woo by ya sa woman be Messi in the first arrival and say and no the Messi who ni the no the rebirth of Messi no the first birth no was your day no sabe e buy no and a bassa for ni faith whoever boa no we are so buy nyina esa so boa ma nya the rebirth of Messi which is the ye hu. And it too shall in someone the lotus flower than in Saho. And then they represent Obenya the man Matthew Mone Chiro Munina, but this flower not damage in Sahono. Ohubiana, a kind of the rebirth, challenging nature of the situation of free. Meaning, say, yeah, Krenika say Bona Hoabaso, a broso. Overachieve broso. Based on the challenge and the predicament of the buyer. So Ibrahimovic, Lucas Beraldo, Mone, Mascherano Momo Kafok of Messi, Yow. Yeah, cause we enjoy Messi. It will take a long time and sign yourself with Leo Bio. Now, la mia mama ba na anu kra head your moye. 38 offre, no so afre. Oh, 39 offre, no so afre. Leo, they have stood the test of time to reach greatness in terms of the game. Now, when say Leo, no, I'm for crying in every football, no, they compare the greatest of the greatest or that sport, you know. Unta who be. So Leo, the okasa wo kan for na yaw. Adia becho Leo ho. Madrid Jean Stabako Gonzalo Garcia were a very different breed in terms of forwards. AP ba Madrid and Nimuho. Odimbape mu nyina ahihye he's different. Ono ne the number 9 mu number 9 ankasa. Intime me no for Madrid and for the boy me pese departure beba sisi yi. Oh, ni minutes ni be so me gitum. Pressure beba no so me gitum. But me say in terms of dynamism where the typical number 9 but we complimenting Mbappe or Vinicius. Say Alonso Diamond do not tell me say about Chouameni at the base. No about 84 million, no about 10 at the tip of the 4 no. Now that tip no, that person has to have a goal scoring ability. As I saw without the ball, no to be leading pressing as part of the offensive three no. Because I have 4-4-2, 2 strikers. Now 4-4 no, I won't feel no. 10 be our top or converted system no into 4-3-3 or core top or can 1-3 or Baba can't train 1-4. That person has to have the energy to add to the press without the ball. As well goal scoring ability. We will choose to choose Jude Bellingham, but made that profile no press and bum nam the goals no can one. Me the Valverde bebam. Nemo mo ya the community no. Valverde ni Jude no. They all score equally well, but Jude scores a lot in the box.
Yes. And
Valverde no, you're more powerful, more precise outside the box. So So Madrid the 4 no dey adwuma. Nemo Madrid kyerɛ me say going forward no Gonzalo will be pushing either Vinicius or Mbappe or about force a system change. A system change is where player BT coach necessary adwene abo system for. And ka Messi ni ho a ka Ibrahimovic bebo number 9. Patriote ase. But Messi nti as a coach no dwene bibi e friend say force 9. Meaning say a player is forcing the coach to rethink about the system no. Gonzalo Garcia would be another player. Or will be a general forward, a ball playing attacker who can maneuver and caress a bit of the time. Ball also, ball no cran and hon chino. He's not that technically limited. But movie penny age, 21. He stays in the mold of Raul, saying and saying, Alonso as a Madrid for never be back, And it's different from Vinicius and then Mbappe. I feel say, keeping you on more. And Draco fighted there, the internet Gonzalo soon to be fighting. That was just a piece. My last piece here, Klopp has seminal kind. Yo, Klopp has seminal kind. What is the contest? There's been a reconnection to the statement. Kafa, I've gone. I wouldn't want to dwell on that. Mean treaty, I would want to treat a seminal Kafa Club World Cup and I would want to treat that in the context of scientific thinking about this game. So what doing football no dia? Men you be apart from football no, because Klopp is a technical man. Or say onim idea behind this tournament. Yeah, the worst ever idea or no who say implement to football mu the Club World Cup no. Okay, people are saying so pre-season games no crack ya Club World Cup no ya miemu anka mo bekọ dada. No, pre-season games are different from these games. Pre-season games are non-competitive games. Pre-season, no 50 goals or higher, the season. So, idea na about pre-season is different. Number 2, pre-season games, you're born on low profile to high profile. But when we season, ya oman home no more starting high profile games for twaso. But pre-season no more koya. And ko Asia 11, 111 kete dia ba or be we are no bomb Madrid Basabi, no competition be there. None of the statistics will be added to seasonal games and also starting. But number 3, pre-season games, you're bought with the idea say you boost your commercial weight and all that. Averagely, as a player will cover 9 to 12 kilometers per 90 minutes. So multiply 34 or 38 games by the 12 kilometers now. And decide you're all running from Kumasi to Tamale non-stop. Ngolo Kante America ni bino. Enye beba tofana de ba America. Ngolo Kante America from Kumasi to Tamale. So that is the distance you cover for the season. So when yare se hwe hawa average physical and as optimal level 9 to 12 kilometers for the season. Now your Kobane Sadia, these players are being overwhelmed. Ye draining mobroso. Somebody would say oh, ye di generate sika dia mo because I'm going to demand kese wo contract ni mu. Okay, open as a chairman kasa ya mpese me tu aka kese me tu mu sa tena ha na ne ohene ba me political na obetena. O wi a DJ for ne ba o ya sa tena mu okura ni nyombo kaka ne DJ for ne sa mfamfo so. Ade e be sa ya o pese bo reggae night mami. Ade e be kire ko hu body no. Body no it has to respond to the act in ekoso. Now say Pep Guardiola okasa diplomatically. First of all, one back tournament no okasa asa omo ni hanu na ya ho ya na de owie ye no se na emom
obenya some can be a 1 month of rest, 2 months of rest okay. But the tennis omo man ba tournament ni bi no omo benya komo wo ho omo players omo supporters omo media e wo ho owie no se pre ni injuries ba aba blemu hwan Ababe Blumu on Crofona organize ade no into ogira 2 page na ene ye kasa no one wo criticize ade no but ode akote sanity was say prepare ba I'll be back to talk about this but as much as prepare my energy me the creative rhythm me the creative chemistry me the fund I remodel my systems and me person hide of the ensuing season no me kwakobo
kind of preposterous
next season
players will suffer injuries
mebao
Klopp no na predicted
Europe clubs saying in the Premier League how many clubs are playing in the competition?
City and Chelsea.
2 out of 20.
Yeah.
How do you use this as a yardstick to project? send the next season Premier League nim injuries bebem because of Club World Cup. And come on, what you say? Bundesliga. How many clubs? 18. 2 out of 18. And the next season injuries bebem Bundesliga nim. Do you realize how absurd analogy? Just one club from Austria. One club from Austria, 2 from Portugal. You can see a breakdown now. And then kebi Brazil for na also omusu. And so omo league omabo drew 11 games in the season. So the whole science about Klopp in his statement, a pure effusive sentimental comment, lacking fact.
Rude to me.
He's just purely sentimental. Do we have to have a lengthier conversation about footballers in enough rest? Yes. But to call the Club World Cup the worst idea in football, I'm sorry, but Jürgen Klopp, come on, you should speak above such. Ne pedigree, no, also Casa Bros and Casa Boy. So, what is football now? Newton, sorry, but football against CCA. At the end of the association football, it means a group of people who have come together for a common interest. Football now is also about money. There were various factors na keka bomu aye bobo no edi nya so mfaso ni biniska. That is how come football clubs are now business. Senya sa structure na govern football now ankabasa kian kan hye ne se de wo bedua enwa na wo betwa enti wo sika wo nsem na no na akofa ho players. True or false? So clubs need to be
money because they are 120 million euros.
And until I maybe say the angles of this conversation, Baku ye pesika. Baku ye performance.
101.3.
And then Baku ye why I didn't mean beba. Ye pesika, ye performance. Why they didn't mean beba.
Thank you.
This is subject. Club said last year we had the Copa America and the European Championship. This year the Club World Cup and next year the World Cup. This means no real recovery for the players who are there, neither physically nor mentally. Scientifically, physically or mentally. In the end, it's all about the game and not the surrounding aspects. And that's why the Club World Cup game is the worst idea ever implemented in football in this regard. The regard here, physically, mentally, so they can, people who have never had anything to do with day-to-day business or no longer have anything to do with come up with something. Last year we had a Copa America. So basically, an NBA player who also earns big salary has a 4-month break every year. This is what Virgil van Dijk got in his entire career. So, Messi a cap performance. Yes, also Kesika. Why ne edini mi nuba? And a club professor say, Sikana die NBA funi nya kesiye. Asene even footballers no. Jet rest no obia hwehwe no NBA for no say nya 4-month break. Okay, can Virgil van Dijk rest getting see ania. And then the NBA one break
next after every season be Van Dijk could if you say 1 week
2 weeks 1 week be mo
the real season that be May
o check ya na ye keka wo inside
May the whole June a break ma these players na come as
I check it time from for preseason
started July.
Yeah, take time and check. Some of these players, also by a story say
national assignments.
Oh, kwemu.
No akwe be Euros ni ade.
Mo the can you say national team football can ho. Club football, Oba FA Cup, Oba La Liga, and in the end, say injuries. Okay, let's think about this. Players like Gavi, Rhys James, Danny Olmo, these boys no make me call lengthy season say these injury prone players. Because this is big subject into me major come so but
the use of NBA again speaks to how fallacious Jürgen Klopp sounds. When him say in America, I'm already top 5 sports with injuries. Basketball and leading.
Yes.
Basketball leading injuries. So what check? You see, in the space of 3 days, a basketball team can play like 5 games. They play rapidly. They play over 80 regular games in a season. In season, there were other competitions like All-Star Game anyway. The use of rest to suggest they are holidaying is a bit
for knowledge wise. Football how many minutes? And NBA how many minutes?
NBA what me bomb and 2 hours.
In one quarter. Go for time.
That is the pieces.
No, the normal way, 48 minutes.
Good.
4 quarters.
It's extra minutes. Time, but I'm not football 120 minutes. And then I don't practice me stretching games.
But this is the first. Maybe Chelsea came on mobile against Benfica. Only Anenzo Maresca see casa. NBA stoppages in the door so crassy way, and I no stop here. I stop it time. So on the clock, it will look like almost 48 minutes. Baby, almost me but that 2 hours 30 minutes. So Klopp does not understand the dynamics of the basketball scene. Did I make her say he could have made his case without tying in basketball players in your rest. Omo also munya 4-month rest no. Omo prado do. Esi omo bobo now also munya rest. So what is your case now? And what's also regard say physical and mental. Again, the number of basketball players who suffer from stress and have gone for mental health way, and also see in football. And evidence why. So he is speaking to a sport he barely understands the dynamics. Remember, in creative scenario, we say, and a basketball for the omo tom because omunya 4 months rest. If you met me out, Google, a lot of agencies have spoken against the overloading of games for basketball athletes. Playing tournaments nearby. So you get it. Count football the neko.
To me, 101.3.
But men found fra baby. I want to hold ansem nasi. And even football the na okano. Engineer one is shaky. Minim say new Tinevia. Engineers one is shaky. And I come in to say this again. Football, a very organized sport. And every organized sport, ayana a kuo in bin a dano. No much less ye. You get it. Now in kuo dano no. Along the line, they evolve with time. World Cup is starting and how many teams in a boy? And how many teams never World Cup? The next one, 48 from saying 32. There are always innovations in the game of football.
AFCON so free 16 got 24.
Good. Innovations, yeah, the back game name for enhanced participation. Now, this Club World Cup, first it was limited. Again, to expand it, Sanya Beya, dear what born in my interest, I in a bedi hono, Obia Benyebi. So, courtesy the Club World Cup, Auckland City from New Zealand, who under normal circumstances might not even have made it to the proper FIFA Club World Cup. Waba be a nyiska, sikana wenyano, or they could develop a game in New Zealand. Now tell me, how many footballers in New Zealand will be risking injuries because of the FIFA Club World Cup? Can you help? Figures, so does it mean the entirety of New Zealand football is subject to many injuries because of the Club World Cup? Again, we take the Portuguese contest. 2 teams from Portugal. Omo Ligano, 2 teams in the free or buy. They are getting money to invest into the Portuguese local football economy. Clubs eventually means more money and bonuses or allowances for footballers. How many does this mean, say? And your Portugal league, injuries bekosro? No. Then he stretched this argument. And of course, oh, ya Bocopa America, and your boy European Championship, and your boy. Then the next summer, your best answer about the FIFA World Cup. And the players will not have enough rest during that period. Considerably, he is right. But then again, we make adjustments as and when. Because more football they regulate. Ain't na year about the 2022 FIFA World Cup for Qatar. Omo ye ne say per schedule anyway no ye beba World Cup in December. Sadia leagues ni bin ko break na emfamwa for recovery, recuperation or whatever. Yanya ne sa. So as and when adjustments are made just to ensure so things will go on smoothly. Now, this FIFA Club World Cup, aside the monetary benefits, which nobody can debate or argue against, Sika Dira football, it is going to do a lot. Me share Real Madrid money way, but me share Alali, me share Aspirants, me share WAC. These are clubs that need money to also close the gap between them and then the elite teams.
Auckland City or Bressa.
Jamaican what you say? Sikana Auckland City nya in a year. Auckland City or more a year financial report anyway. Only more profit. The profit they able to declare and drew $100,000 in pool. But this is a club that will earn not less than $5 million. The first one could be about 20 years. When you know one competition, don't you think Omobesi Academy be way? Omobeye Wellness Center to develop football in New Zealand? Do you call this the worst football idea? Do you do that? No, do you do that? Because according to you, all whims and then your whimsical thought, no. Ojen say players need rest.